Ladies and gentlemen, as I had earlier mentioned, that we are prepared as a commission and as a returning officer. We are set for the by-election on Friday this week. It's less than 48 hours to the elections. So far so good. We have been able to train all our election officials. They have taken off, and today we are doing mapping. And mapping basically is going to the polling station and ascertain the status of those polling stations. Across the constituency, we have got 112 polling stations. All of them are in primary schools. Then tomorrow we distribute our election materials. Election officials will spend the night of 4th in the polling stations, and polling stations will be open at 6 a.m. on 5th of April. We have received all and packaged all election materials except ballot papers, which we expect to receive before close of business today. Over the 62 or so campaign days, we have been receiving complaints from members of the public and political players as well. What I've been doing as a returning officer, whenever I receive such claims, we forward them to the DCIO for investigations, and investigations have yielded some results. So far, so good. 6 people have been taken to court over claims of bribery, over claims of violence, and two of the cases are still active. All our polling stations have got less than 700 voters. All of them. Any polling station that goes beyond that has 701 becomes 2 polling stations. They divided to 300. 350, and the other one 351. So no polling station in the constituency has got more than 700 voters. I can share with you the information for all polling stations. Immediately you can have a copy so that you know each and every of the 112 polling stations how many voters are there. Transmission, as you have said, transmission of election results from the polling stations to the constituency tallying center is only done for the presidential election. For this by-election, which is an election for member of National Assembly, there is no transmission of results from the polling station electronically to the tallying center. So we will have to wait for the physical hard copy of the resource declaration form 35A to be brought by the presiding officer so that we begin tallying. And after tallying, that is when we make a declaration of results. At the polling station, the only thing that is going to happen electronically is identification of voters. However, at intervals of 3 hours, presiding officers are going to give us the status of the number of people who have voted, if there is any incident, and such like issues. At every 3 hours, they'll give us that information, we compile, and we can even share with the media. So at any one time, we know how many people have come who are turned up to vote. Activities at the tallying center begin once we start receiving election results from the polling stations. In fact, even if they are being transmitted, transmission will still happen after the polling stations have been closed at 5 and counting has taken place, and that is when they transmit. So whichever the case, activities begin after polling stations. Activities at the tallying center begins after polling stations have been closed. Now at the tallying center, we will fill a form called 35B, which is a tally of all the polling. The 35 A's from the polling stations, and that is what we are going to display within the tallying center. So as they come and as I read the results, we also enter them in that form and we display that not only at the tallying center but even outside the tallying center. So anybody who cannot access the tallying center can follow the proceedings of the tallying center from outside the tallying center. We'll have a screen outside. The issue of the Third Way Alliance, Third Way Alliance candidate, yes, indeed, last evening he wrote an email to me asking that 2 of the candidates be disqualified from the race because of allegations of bribery. And I wrote to him after writing to the DCIO last evening to investigate. So the DCIO has asked him to go and make a formal statement and provide evidence, which he has not done as at midday. So the DCIO is still waiting for the candidate at his office to give more information and to provide evidence that can incriminate any election offender. Thank you.